All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Eric and Tom Show. We're going to go over today. This is our seal coat today. We're going to go over everything. We're going to talk about everything and getting prepared for the epoxy. So we're so close. Just hang in there. I promise you all are going to be so excited, so happy. We had to short the video yesterday. We were out of time. And we wanted to bring you in briefly this morning, and we want to go over a couple of things that we were not able to tell you so it doesn't trip you up in your process. We had showed you yesterday in this scene that we used the wood filler. And in doing so, coat one, as you can imagine, kind of sunk down in there and created a little pocket. So this morning we came in and we doctored this up again. This is coat 2 and it's almost dry here. But now you can see that seam, it's completely flat and gone and disappeared. And along with the biscuit joints yesterday, that's not the only thing we did. We actually went up underneath at an angle with a 2-inch screw only. Right at an angle with all this biscuit jointed and the seam doctored up, first coat on the seam. We stuck a screw in about 2.5, 3 inches inside, missing our biscuit joints at an angle, and we went from the long side into the short side so that it would snug that tight together. So we put one screw in here, one screw in here. Tom, if you dip the phone underneath of there and show them. Right there where you can see that I doctored that up. We shot 2 screws up in there to draw that a little bit tighter. So this morning when we came in, we had already had those screws in. I filled in those little holes with some of the wood filler, and I applied a second coating of that wood filler now that everything had set up from last night and all that. So now we are completely ready to go. This looks fantastic. I just wanted to give you all that crucial information that I know you're going to need. Coming on down this way, I want to show you something else too we didn't have time to tell you yesterday. It's a very good idea. When we had all this done and fixed back here, we took some caulking, not your cheap caulking, but not super expensive either. It's paintable. That's the key word there. It's paintable caulking. So right here where it hit the wall, before we left yesterday, we actually took a bead across here to seal all that back correctly, tighten everything back up, because we're going to be going on with our seal coat today. This is going to give me a chance on the front side here. I'm going to go ahead and fix the wall back. So I'm going to cut this tight right here, get this little bit of the markings here from doing all this stuff. We're going to be able to paint that back on the front side, get that back to correct before we go on with the seal coat. So we just wanted to give you all that information this morning before we get going with the seal coat so that you know what's going on here and what we did. So without further ado, let's get right into our seal coat and what we're doing for these tops to get ready for the epoxy. All right, y'all, real quick, I don't want to leave this part out. This is very, very crucial, okay? So your first thought probably would be, you know, this counter, as heavy as this is just sitting here, it is not shot down. It is not anything like that. So it's just literally resting on here. We could pick this up if we wanted to. So the way me and Tom go about locking this in, we are not about to send screws up through here that's going to penetrate and shift this counter. And this is why we spent all this time getting this counter to this right here. Everywhere you look, we're not about to take a chance on sending screws up here and get this thing to tweak ever so slightly. We are picture perfect for the resin. So what I want to show you is what we're going to do. Point them up under here, Tom. This right here, this is what we're going to end up doing because we are going to seal this up underneath here. We're going to get into that with the seal coat. This is what I want to tune you into. Huge little trick right here. There is all kinds of Loctite power grabs. There is tub and tile. There is tub surround. All kinds of power grabs. This one in particular, the red and blue, it's the ultimate. And this is what you're looking for. 0-second instant grab. So basically what this is, it goes in a caulk gun, just like normal. It's like you're caulking. And you're basically going to shoot this bead right up under here, the entire way, all the way around and on the outside. This is going to go on like a caulking, and it's going to harden like a concrete, okay? So it is the best stuff on the planet. This is what we use to adhere this counter to our massive build right here. It's going to lock it down like a champ. No screws needed. It will never budge, break, move, shift, any of that. Best stuff on the planet. We wanted to tune you in to that before we get started on the seal coat. So we're going to go ahead and apply this. We'll show you and bring you back in, and let's go over the seal coat application. So look, in putting this sealant on, see, this was the importance of why we took the time to set all these plates so that this drops in completely level. No shim work needed to make our top completely level for resin, and that is so crucial. Because any type of shim work under here to lift up to get this level, you've just created air pockets and dead space underneath the counter, so it is not nearly as strong as laying this guy right on something that becomes perfectly level. So here's the sealant up underneath, and you can see the potholes, but look what I've already done. So it goes in just like a caulking, and it's going to eliminate not only any of these gaps, but it's going to eliminate having to screw and move this counter out of the way. So you just put a tiny bead in there, and I'm putting quite a little bit of pressure here on my finger, and look, that much came out. Now we've got that sealed all the way down and all the way around the corner. And like I said, this stuff hardens like concrete, so there ain't no moving this here in about an hour or so. All right, so look, all that is up under there, everywhere. So that is locking that entire counter. I mean, there's nothing better than to lock that. That is going to bond and lock like a concrete hold. And then not to mention, it's helping stabilize the rail system that, you know, is sitting here and makes everything completely jive all the way around. For all that hard work that we put into this guy to make that completely level. Now anybody leaning on it, putting their elbows on the bar, we're not going to get any type of tweaking, movement, none of that. It's just going to stay completely perfect until the finish. And that's another reason we wanted to show you all that, because like I told you just a minute ago, any of this on your bar top that has to be shimmed, no matter how minor it has to be lifted or anything, you've just created air pockets, breathing opportunities, you've created unevenness and differences, different stresses in the top. So that is the importance of doing this, going to all this trouble, and not using any type of screws whatsoever. So look, we're out of time on this one. Hate to run. It's looking fantastic. It's looking beautiful. We're going to keep moving forward here, but you're going to have to tune back into the next video, and we'll go over the seal coat then. So my apologies. Time gets away from us, and there's just a lot of information to make sure we tune you all into so we don't skip over nothing crucial. Till the next one, you guys.